All right, so today I'm taking a little departure from our normal topic of all things cultivation and geeked out soil science and things relating to cannabis cultivation and soil science. And I'd like to just speak directly to you and bear a little bit of my soul, share a little bit of the personal side of what's been happening here in the last week, and just share some information about a friend of mine who I would like to try to support. As most of you know, the fires down in Los Angeles have been devastating. This is sort of a once-in-a-generation fire with the most insane destruction that we've seen in a long, long time. Today I call Eugene, Oregon, the Willamette Valley, my home, and we've been here since 2015. Prior to moving to the Eugene area, I called Altadena home. Altadena was a place for my family. Starting in 2003, we found a tiny 1920s bungalow that sort of looked like a crack house. It was a dilapidated little shack that we could afford to buy, and the vision was to someday fix it up, to someday possibly build a new home there. And that's exactly what I did. I ended up tearing down the little bungalow at some point, and I designed and built a home for my family and poured every ounce of love and energy into building that home for my family. And that was completed in 2006, 2007. And it was absolutely devastating last week to hear of the news of the fire. We lost our home that we had built. That entire neighborhood essentially was leveled. And as the shock wore off and we started connecting with friends that were still living down there, we started hearing all of the tragedy that people were enduring and the horror of having to evacuate in the middle of the night in the midst of 100-mile-an-hour winds and embers, ripping around people's faces, and it was just horrifying. So what I'd like to do today is spotlight a story that I think is incredibly moving and I can relate to deeply, and it is really one of the many sad stories that has emerged over the last week. My friend Kevin built a home for his family over the course of 8 years because he didn't have the resource to hire different folks in the trade. So he had to slowly but surely chip away at his project. And the link to that video and the link to his GoFundMe page is in the notes below. And if you would take a look at his GoFundMe page and watch his story and see what went into that 8-year project of slowly but surely building this home for his wife and his 2 kids, only to have it completely destroyed in the fire, it's just one of those heartbreaking stories. It's not the only heartbreaking story to come out of LA in the last week, but it's a story that's very personal to me in the sense that it's my friend, and it's also something that I can deeply relate to, having just lost the home that I had designed and built, but we weren't living there when it happened. For Kevin and his family to lose the home that he had spent 8 years building for his family and to lose it, and now he's displaced. And the way that he describes the scene down in the LA area right now is like the Hunger Games, where it is absolutely a brutal situation with everything up in the air in terms of insurance, housing, all of that is just a complete mess. So anything that you could do to donate to Kevin's GoFundMe to support him and his family would mean the world to them, and it would be a game changer to allow them to transition through this incredibly difficult time. So I wanted to share that story today. Back to our regularly scheduled programming after this, but thank you for taking a minute to watch the video and to see about supporting Kevin and his family with any size donation. It doesn't matter, big or small, every little bit helps. So thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next one.